Welcome back, everybody. It's Jason McNeil from jasonmcneilphotography.com, and I am giving an update today on how I've been feeling and some other stuff too. Okay, so some people know already that I actually have or had pneumonia. It actually started out with being a sinus infection, and then it went on to being a bronchitis, which I've never had before, and then full-blown pneumonia, which I've never had before as well. So it was a really eye-opener. I don't know. I've never had pneumonia before, so the feeling of it was very different. I'm usually, if I get sick, it's very rare, and when I do get sick, it doesn't exhaust me. Like, I might get a fever. I'll get, like, you're sneezing, coughing. Occasionally, I might have those moments of throwing up and stuff like that, and some aches and pains. But for the most part, it does not make me tired. So it was the first time ever that pneumonia was able to make me tired, and also because it affects the lungs so much, to be out of breath pretty easily. I'm pretty much over it now. I'm still kind of dealing with some of it. I know I still have a pretty nasty cough that sometimes causes headaches and everything like that, but I'm already doing back to my old routine, getting back to my old routine of doing things. One of the topics I want to talk about today is this thing about retouchers. Okay, I don't have an issue with retouchers. I'm not saying that someone has said that about me at all. It's just the fact that I don't need one, and I think the only time I will ever really need a retoucher is when the workload becomes so massive that I can't keep up. And I've had issues where I've had 3 or 4 shoots lined up, and I've shot them already, and there's like 500 to 1,000 to 2,000 photos for each shoot that I have to go through and everything like that. And even still at that point, I did not go and get a retoucher. I'm very confident in my ability as far as like doing any kind of post-production work on the images that I create. And that's the key thing right there for me. I create. If I turn my photos over to someone else, if I go out and hire my own retoucher to do some work for me, it's no longer my creativity. Now, granted, some people will say, well, yeah, if you tell them what you want to do and everything like that, it's still your work. Not really, in my opinion, because it becomes their vision. If I said that I want the makeup or the model to have, much more vibrant color in their lips, well, that vibrant color is met to their standards, not mine. And I'm not the type of person who will go to somebody and say, oh, you know what, it's a little too vibrant. Bring it down just a few notches. I'm not going to be that person who's going to just do all that. I'd rather put that weight on my shoulders and do it myself. I have a degree in graphic and web design. I've been doing stuff with Photoshop and photo editing programs before Photoshop was ever invented for a long time. And so I'm pretty confident in my abilities, and I know exactly what I want to do, which segues into how I shoot. And I explain this to some people, and to me sometimes it seems very unheard of how they're, based on their reaction, they're just kind of like, oh, okay. But the way I tend to shoot is I shoot exactly what I need to do. It doesn't take that long to complete what I'm shooting, okay? So the lighting, and whatever the attire is, and the colors, and the composition of the shot, the pose of the model, the expression of the model, those things are planned out, and prior to me taking the actual photo is already set in place. So when I go into post-production, I know that if there's anything as far as like blemishes I have to fix, shadows or contrast and all the other stuff, I go ahead and fix it in post-production. Okay? Before my daughter was born, it would take me roughly 3 days to finish the entire photo set. Whether it's a 500 to 1,000, doesn't matter. I would get it done within 3 days. Because I had a lot of time on my hand, that was one. But two, my workflow was pretty fast because I stuck to that rule of, shoot everything that I want shot at the shoot the way I want it shot. Okay? And then take it into post-production, and then do whatever small corrections I need to make. Okay? I learned how to do a lot of batch editing, and even still I don't really even use it. I don't really use a lot of my batch editing, but I do have presets and whatnot, and those presets are ones that I use that are made up and I found from tutorials, and I've modified it to my liking. So I just go there, click it, boom, it's done. Okay, but for the most part, I know how to do everything that I do in every photo, step by step in Photoshop. I make life easier for myself and for the client by getting it done faster, and that's just how I work. So when you think about that, I don't, because of the speed of what I work, how I shoot, the need for a retoucher just isn't really there for me. And I get a lot of emails like on the regular about, you know, hey, I would love to work with you. I'm a retoucher from the United Kingdom, from China, somewhere in the United States and whatnot. And I understand some of them are looking for people, looking for a way to make some money, and they are looking to you know, work with someone that they consider as a really, you know, creative person and whatnot. And it's just not going to be me. Now I understand that some magazines and whatnot, they have like a rule or in a contract that says that you take the raw image, you give us the raw image, and then we will have our editor, in-house editor, edit the photos and stuff like that, which is totally fine. I've never I never actually submitted to a magazine like that requires that rule, but I've seen it before. And if I were to do that, I would gladly give it to them and whatnot, because, you know, that's their rules, their magazine, I want in it. So I understand that. But as far as like just with me, I don't need a retoucher.